Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video in the What a Juice channel, and welcome back to another rebuild here on Madden 24. That is right. We are continuing with our current day rebuilds. Last time we've done the Jacksonville Jaguars, where they traded for Mac Jones, and then most recently we did Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now that one was fairly simple. It took me 3 seasons to win a championship with that Philadelphia Eagle roster. I thought it was going to take me 2, but it did take me 3 seasons to win a championship. So we'll see how quickly it takes me with this one. This is going to be a requested one. It is the Baltimore Ravens with Derrick Henry. Now, a lot of people were hyping this one up, this signing up, because to be fair, Derrick Henry is a monster. I don't really know how other grown men tackle Derrick Henry. If you look at Derrick, I know that on TV and through pictures and stuff like that, it doesn't really do it justice, but if you see Derrick Henry in person, which unfortunately I've never had the opportunity to do, but I know people that have, if you get to see Derrick Henry in person, he is so... He's so large. He is a... It's almost indescribable. I don't really feel this way about that many people in the NFL world. Like, if you meet Orlando Pace, he's still huge. Like, a lot of offensive linemen stay big. I know that some of them obviously trim down, slim down once they're done playing, but Derrick Henry's in a category of his own. He's so big. I don't know how these 220, 230, 240, 250, 260-pound defensive linemen, linebackers, how do they tackle him? He's chiseled out of stone. He's just so, is all I can think of. So basically, enough of me gushing over Derrick Henry. Even though he is reaching the running back expiring limit, quote unquote, he's still very, very good. He's led the league in carries, I'm pretty sure, every single year except for one, maybe a couple years ago, because he got hurt. So he's got a lot of usage. Those tires are very, very worn, but he is still unbelievably talented. And you put him in this offense with Lamar Jackson, the run-pass option is going to go crazy, because defenses aren't going to know, are they going to hand it off to Derrick Henry? Are we going to have to be prepared to tackle this mammoth of a man? Or are we going to have to try to run down Lamar Jackson? It's the on-paper theory of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the same backfield is unstoppable, in my opinion. Like, on paper, I don't know if it's going to translate all the way in real life on the field, because obviously you got defensive coordinators and head coaches and stuff, and defensive players that are game planning for that. But on paper, in theory, this duo is unstoppable, because you've got the uber athleticism, hyper athleticism of Lamar Jackson with the combo of obviously taking off and running for 10, 15, 30 yards, or throwing it down the field. I know we joke, I've had the joke on the channel before, we joke around the NFL world about Lamar B, he can't escape the running back allegations. Lamar Jackson's a really good thrower. He can throw the football a long way. He's very accurate, he's a good quarterback, so having that combination already paired with a regular running back, no disrespect to like any of the running back, Gus Williams, J.K. Dobbins, none of the running backs that they've had already, no disrespect to them, but pairing that combination, that lethal combination with the raw power and speed of Derrick Henry, even though he's up there in age, he's still unbelievable. It feels unstoppable. Now, obviously, it's going to be stoppable because there's no way that NFL teams are going to let the Ravens go undefeated and win a Super Bowl. That's just not going to happen. That's not how modern NFL works. This isn't 2007. So this is probably going to get the Ravens one of the top seeds in the AFC. Who knows what the Chiefs and the Bills and all those teams do. But it's definitely going to win them the division, I would think. Because, you got the Browns with Deshaun Watson, who sucks. You've got Joe Burrow, who can't stay healthy. You've got Pittsburgh, who's got tiny hands, and Russell Wilson. So who knows what's going to happen. Forget about those teams. You got the Baltimore Ravens with a pretty good defense, and then you've got maybe the two most athletic and dominant players at their positions in the last 10 or 15 years. So in Madden, we're going to see how that goes. I don't know if this is going to be as difficult or as easy as any of my other rebuilds. I would assume it's going to be leaning more towards the easy side of things because this team is basically already built. We just have to plug in a few extra pieces, similar to the Eagles rebuild. But I think even without those pieces, the combination of Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry with Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews on offense, plus the defense that they already have, I think that they can already do some damage in Madden Simulation. So we're going to find out. Now, like I used in the Eagles rebuild and the Jacksonville rebuild, we are using, on the PC, we are using mods, but not any crazy mods. We're only using the tattoo mod for players, the tattoo mod for custom, created players to make them come into the league with tattoos. And then we are using the player likeness mod. Those are the only 3 mods that I have installed or activated for this one, which unfortunately means we can't use Start Today. We can't jump to the off season where the NFL is in real life. We're going to have to start at the beginning of the 2023 season, which is not that big of a deal. It just means that we're technically a year behind on this rebuild, but hey, I wanted to use these mods. It adds more immersion to when you jump into a certain screen or something, so I wanted to use them. I like them. I apologize if you don't. So that's going to be what we're doing. We are starting at 2023, but the rosters are up to date. Even up to date, I added Chase Young to the New Orleans Saints, so he is on the Saints now. He should not be in free agency. I would expect them to re-sign him. And when we did the Eagle rebuild, he was in free agency because when I recorded that, he hadn't signed yet. And I think got picked up by the Packers or something. And then they gave him a contract extension, so he stayed in Green Bay. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen in New Orleans. I hope that's at least what happens in New Orleans in the game. So we will see what happens. But hope you guys go and enjoy the video. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. If you have a suggestion for your favorite team that you want to see me rebuild with their new additions on free agency or when we get to the draft, I'm gonna be doing some rebuilds when we get to the draft, especially with the top teams with their quarterbacks, with the who needs a quarterback? With the Bears, they're going to probably draft Caleb Williams. That seems to be pretty much guaranteed. Commanders probably going to take either Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and then the Patriots take the one that's left over, either Drake May or Jaden Daniels. So those 3 teams for sure we're going to be rebuilding, and the Patriots one is 2 birds because that's my favorite team. So, and they haven't really done much in free agency. So I'm going to be rebuilding them. Those 3 teams when they get their quarterbacks. And we'll obviously still continue to rebuild teams. I want to do the Falcons. I want to do probably the Chargers. I want to do the Bills maybe because they've kind of lost a lot of their pieces. There's a lot of teams. And obviously if you have your favorite team that you want to see me rebuild with their new additions, certainly leave them down below in the comments. But without further ado, it's time to rebuild the Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Baltimore Ravens. Here we are. Baltimore Ravens roster updated to what they look like as of recording this video. And here we are, this elite backfield of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. It seems a little weird still to have Derrick Henry be a Baltimore Raven because he's obviously been a Titan his whole career since 2015. And I'm probably going to see if they have number 22 open. I didn't realize he wasn't wearing number 22. Can we give him number 22? No, you can only wear number 20. Who's got number 22? Who's wearing number 22? I don't know. But obviously we have Zay Flowers, who's fantastic. Really good pickup for them in the draft last year. We don't have Hollywood Brown anymore. He's in Kansas City. So, obviously, well, we didn't have Hollywood Brown because he was in Arizona. So that wouldn't make any sense. Why would I? Whatever. Doesn't make any sense. But we have Zay Flowers, and we have Rashad Bateman, who's the same overall right now as Nelson Aguilar. So I kind of want to put Rashad Bateman higher than Nelson Aguilar so that we can kind of maybe see what Rashad Bateman can become, if anything. But then we've got the offensive line, which Tyler Linderbaum, Ronnie Stanley, those two positions pretty much done. We do need to figure out the rest of the offensive line because it's a little bit shaky. But obviously we have two great tight ends and Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, so we're good on tight end. Don't have to worry about that. On the defense, I'd like to think that we're pretty good. I mean, we have Justin Matabuike, who is fantastic. We have Marlon Humphrey, who's fantastic. We have Kyle Hamilton, who's fantastic. So we're pretty, and we have obviously Roquan Smith, who's amazing. So, I mean, we are pretty good in certain positions. We have Michael Pierce. We probably are going to need to add a couple extra players, maybe another corner or two, maybe another linebacker to just kind of, because Kyle Van Noy's a little bit older at this point. Adafe always good. Who knows what he's going to develop into. And then probably somebody to replace Emmanuel Agaba because it's kind of past his time by now. But the rest of this team is pretty darn amazing. And obviously we have the greatest kicker of the modern day, which is Justin Tucker. So we've got ourselves quite the team. And we are running with the draft class, the 2024 draft class. So we've got Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, all the boys like we normally do. I don't know where we're going to go because obviously I don't know how good we're going to be. I don't know what position we would need to target. I would think offensive line because out of anything, it's quarterback and it's offensive line in Madden that really hinders whether you're going to be good or not in simulation. So we obviously got the quarterback down, but offensive line's a little shaky. There's a lot of holes on that side. So the draft could be very important for offensive linemen this year. Our draft picks, we have all of our own except for a sixth. Now, the draft, since we're starting this in the 2023 season, and the rosters are right, but the draft picks are not. So teams that have traded draft picks around the league for other players or just other draft picks this season, they're not in this rebuild. So everybody's got their normal draft picks that they would have had, just to let you know. So let's simulate to the end of season 1, figure out kind of where we are with this Baltimore Ravens squad. I don't know. I think we're going to be good just on the sole fact that we have a good defense and the combination of Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry is going to be probably pretty crazy. We're 85s across the board. Let's figure out how good this team is. Let's get a baseline of how good this Ravens team is by simulating the end of season 1 and seeing where we are. Okay, I wanted to bring you back before we got to the end of the season, not only because the experiment seems to be working. We are 9-1 right now, week 11, but also because I wanted to bring you guys in for possible negotiations and for the focus players for this first season. So I don't know what we're going to do here. We don't have a favorites board. Probably going to have to do some interior offensive line. I used my national focus on interior offensive line so that we could learn a little bit about both these positions. Well, and center too, because it works for all three, which is really kind of overpowered. So I think I'm going to use one on Jackson Powers. I'm going to use one on... We've drafted Cooper Beebe before, or I drafted him in the Eagles one, I'm pretty sure. So I don't really want to go for him. We'll use one on Graham Barton, though, because he does look pretty decent. And then we'll use one on Troy Fautanu. Fautanu? I don't know. I'll learn it when he gets into the league. Probably. So those are going to be the 3 focus players we use at week 11, and hopefully we can bring them in. But also, I wanted to show you, when I stopped at week 8 to do my national focus, I had a breakout DB scenario. So then when I simulated the next week, and I clicked it, he got it. It is Brandon Stevens, 25-year-old SMU corner, is now up to star development. So that might figure out my cornerback spot better than I could have ever done. We might still need to add one more, but we have Rock Yassin, who's a fine third corner. So having Brandon Stevens get up to star development at only 25 years old, pairing him alongside Marlon Humphrey, I like the way that looks. And then some player negotiations. We have $32 million. And speaking of Rock Yassin, there he is. Michael Pierce, Malik Harrison. Okay, so it's nobody that's like super impactful that we have to bring back. But there are some guys that would kind of like quality of life re-signings, guys that you want to bring back just because Malik Harrison's asking for way too much money. I feel bad for you. You are a Buckeye, Malik, but you're asking for way too much money being a 74 overall. But a guy like Michael Pierce, I would be happy to bring back on a 2-year contract, maybe 8.5. That's a lot of money, but I'm fine bringing him back because then that helps me not have to worry about my defensive tackle position when we get to the draft. We don't have to worry about it. Now, Kyle Van Noy and Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar probably can't bring back because he's asking for a little bit too much money, especially with the only 6.9 that we have left. But Kyle Van Noy kind of hurts. I don't know how much value he's going to have. I'd probably try to trade him if I could, but we probably wouldn't be able to get more than like a 4th-round pick or a 3rd-round pick for him, so it might not even be that worth it. But we're 9-1 in the season so far. I'm going to finish the rest of the regular season. Steelers are 1-8, by the way, so it looks like their project is not really working out too well with Tiny Hands or Russell Wilson. So they're definitely going to be on the list of teams that we need to rebuild. That's for sure. But 9-1 on the year. It's looking like we're going to smooth sail all the way to the playoffs. I guess we'll find out. I'll catch you guys at the end of the season. We've wrapped up the year. We went 14-3. Not as good as I wanted it to be. Obviously, you can see we lost to the Steelers the final week of the season, which is not great because the Steelers are bad. But 14-3 doesn't even get us the number 1 seed, which is kind of crazy. We were the 2 seed behind the Chiefs, so the Chiefs still reign even after another Super Bowl championship. The Chiefs are just that team, man. They are just that team. But we will play the Browns in a couple of minutes. Let's take a look at these stats. How did we do? Lamar Jackson, 3,100 yards, 28 touchdowns to 2 interceptions with a 73% completion percentage. That is exactly the type of season I would expect from Lamar Jackson with the addition of Derrick Henry. That is a pretty decent season, very efficient. And there's the type of season I would expect from Derrick Henry. 1,400 yards and 20 touchdowns, averaging 84 yards a game, 4.9 per carry. And Lamar Jackson almost got 1,000 yards. Oh my God. Lamar Jackson actually almost got 1,000 yards. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback get almost 1,000 yards or almost 1,000 yards in a Madden simulation. That's insane. 921 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 5.2 per carry. Lamar Jackson out here cooking. And then Rashad Bateman, that's good. Rashad Bateman, I would like to see Zay Flowers lead the team, but having Rashad Bateman get 932 yards and 10 touchdowns is actually pretty good because I wanted to see if he could develop in anything. Then we don't have to really worry about receiver that much, except for maybe getting a third kind of like background receiver. But if Rashad Bateman has this type of season and he goes up to superstar, then receiver's pretty much done for the rebuild. Mark Andrews had a good year. I'd like to see Zay Flowers get a few more catches and yards, but that is what it is. He's still very good. Defensively, we have, Trenton Simpson with 122 tackles. I didn't even mention Trenton Simpson in the overview of the team, but this man is phenomenal, and he proves it right there. 122 tackles. Roquan Smith had 109. Marlon Humphrey, 89. Stevens with 76. Kyle Hamilton had 70. Tackle for loss leader was Kyle Van Noy with 14. Madubuike had 12. And 10 for Michael Pierce. Sack leader was Madubuike with 9.5, 6.5 for Pierce and Agba, and then 4.5 for Van Noy, 4 for Owe, and then 3.5 for Roquan Smith. Interception leader was Marlon Humphrey with 5, and then a couple guys had 3, Roquan, Hamilton, Stevens, a few guys had 1. That's a pretty good season, considering we went 14-3. It's a pretty solid season, and now we take on the Cleveland Browns, a big rival. Can we get done? They made the playoffs at 8-9. That's kind of crazy. And we do beat them pretty handily, 31-7. We now take on the Buffalo Bills with Joshi Poo. Are we going to get it done again? Go to the AFC title game to play probably the Chiefs. And no. We lose in the divisional round to the Buffalo Bills. That's pretty upsetting. Usually I'm not super upset in year one that we lose early on. But that's kind of upsetting. We had such a good regular season, and then we lose to the Buffalo Bills in the division round. That's kind of upsetting. And the Bills go to the playoffs, or go to the Super Bowl to play the Cowboys, which is a wild thing to think about. What is this, 1994? This is insane. Cowboys and Bills in the Super Bowl. I would assume the Cowboys are going to win because Madden has a hard-on for them, and they do, 31-14. I wonder, because the NFL controls Madden, basically. They tell EA Sports what they can and can't put in the game. They tell them all that kind of stuff. And who controls the NFL? The owners. I wonder, this is my little conspiracy. Put your little tinfoil hats on here. Let's get a little conspiratorial. I wonder if, whether it's Jerry Jones directly or somebody that works underneath him, maybe an intern or something, I wonder if they tell EA Sports to make the Cowboys simulate and just be really good in the game every single year for his own ego. So that he can... Now, he might not fully know the ins and outs of Madden, but that's why he tells it to an intern or something, or somebody that's below him. So that it doesn't hurt the image of the Cowboys, even though they do that every year in the playoffs. I wonder if there's some sort of communication between EA Sports and the Cowboys organization to where there's like an understanding. The Cowboys are always going to simulate good. Same kind of deal with the Chiefs, but they're probably not, they're just good in real life, so they obviously are going to simulate pretty well in the game. But the Cowboys are not that good in real life. I mean, they have their moments where, like this past year, the Cowboys were pretty good in the regular season. Dak was like an MVP candidate for a while, but then obviously in the playoffs they choked it away, and they're a clown of an organization most of the time. So I wonder if there's some sort of like communication to where EA Sports feels obligated to make the Cowboys good every year in simulation so that their brand doesn't fall off or something. I don't know. It's just a little conspiracy theory. I told you to put the tinfoil hats on. It's just a little conspiracy. It's probably not true. They probably just happen to simulate pretty well. I don't know. Maybe their playbooks are just so good. I don't ask me. Malik Hooker, nice. Wins Super Bowl MVP. Brock Purdy, of all people, is the MVP of the league. All right. McCarthy, Coach of the Year. McCaffrey is the Offensive Player of the Year, so that explains why Purdy's the MVP. Max Crosby is the Defensive Player of the Year. Rashee Rice is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Byron Young of the Rams is your Defensive Rookie of the Year. So we finished one season. We fall in the divisional round. Kind of unfortunate, kind of frustrating. But it's what happens, man. It's what happens in the NFL. Next year, I think we should be better because we're going to hopefully plug in some offensive linemen that are good. So that'll be a big addition to the team, a big help. Although, did we get any development upgrades on the team? Nothing on offense, which is unfortunate. I was hoping Bateman might go up, but I guess he just didn't have that great of a season. And then on defense, Trenton Simpson is star development, but nobody else goes up anything. Everybody stays the same, which I guess is not that bad. But it's just kind of frustrating that we don't get any extra progression from the boys or any help with extra XP. So negotiations, we have $24 million. We're going to accept the option on Odafe Oweh and Rashad Bateman. Malik Harrison is just $72 million. Come on, Malik. $72 million? Really? $72 million? I love you. You're a Buckeye. I'll always love you. But $72 million for you're 74 overall and 26 years old? What are we talking about here? That's just crazy. Kyle Van Noy. Ooh, Kyle Van Noy's dropped down a whole lot. I know he's dropped down in overall as well, but his contract has dropped down a lot. So I'll actually bring him back for that. That's perfect. I was hoping not to trade him because I like Kyle Van Noy. Nelson Aguilar's not worth it. Nobody else here is worth it, except for maybe Malik Cunningham because I like Malik Cunningham. But, I mean, I'd like to bring Malik Harrison back, but I'm not paying you $72 freaking million. Maybe in free agency, when you realize that nobody's going to pay you that, I'll come back and I'll offer you a nice little deal. But I'm not paying you $72 million, dude. You're out of your mind. Let's go into free agency and see just what everybody's offering him. So, the rest of the class... Ooh, Amari Cooper is intriguing. I know he's got 18 teams in after him, but that's quite the little addition to the team. Although Noah Brown could be pretty cool too. I guess that could be a nice backup option. But Amari Cooper, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Amari Cooper is kind of crazy. Offensive line, we don't need a left tackle, but we could use a right tackle. I guess David Bakhtiari could be our right tackle for the rebuild. Let's see. Interior offensive line, we could probably draft somebody that's better than who's here. Hopefully, at least. And then D tackles, we're good with. Defensive line, there's nobody that's better than Emmanuel Ogbah, unfortunately. Malik Harrison, here he is. He's got 2 offers. I'm going to put some money in. But not that. I mean, maybe a 4-year deal. That's a lot of money, Malik. I'm not paying you this much. Nah, if I lower it too much, he's just not going to accept. So, Malik Harrison, you can go get yourself paid. I'm not going to hold you back. Go get paid, dog. Go get your bag. Deion Jones is here, but we have Trenton Simpson and Roquan Smith. We don't need a middle linebacker. Outside linebacker, nobody really better than what we have. And then corner, I would like to add 1 corner, but maybe we have to do that in the draft as well because I don't really want any of these older guys. I think we might just keep our money except for going after Bakhtiari. Or no, not Bakhtiari, Cooper. Amari Cooper. It would be basically all of my money, and I don't even know if that would work anyway. I'm going to put all the money in on Cooper. We're battling with the Ravens. We'll see what happens. I almost don't want to get Amari Cooper, but we did. We got Amari Cooper. That's crazy. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have put that money in Amari Cooper since he's like, what, 30-plus years old or something? But that's kind of cool to have Amari Cooper. I never go after him in any of these rebuilds, so I might as well do something I don't usually do. But we add Cooper to a receiving core that already had Bateman and Flowers. I like that a whole lot. Now we just need to go into the draft and get ourselves some offensive linemen. That is the next big addition to the team that needs to happen. And we will see. The offense is pretty much done now. We added Amari Cooper. All we got to do is get those offensive linemen, get a left guard, a right guard, and a right tackle. And then, boom, we're done. Offense is completely finished. And then we can hopefully win a Super Bowl within the next year or 2. That's the goal, at least. All right, let's get to free agency recap so we can look at mock draft number 5. We can do the last 3 players on the scouting, and then get to the draft. So I'm assuming we have a pick in the 20s. Marvin Harrison going number 1 to the Bears. Okay. So Jackson Powers is going to the Bucks at 11. I don't like that. Where are we picking? We're picking at number 28, Terrion Arnold. I don't hate that, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so either we're going to trade up to get an offensive lineman, which kind of feels weird. You don't really want to trade up to get an offensive lineman unless they're absolutely generational. I don't know how we're going to play this. Having pick number 28 kind of sucks. I was hoping we'd have a pick in like the low 20s, or I guess like 20 or 21, or maybe like high teens, like 18, 19, something like that. I was hoping we kind of be smacked there, but it looks like we are not. All right, let me go back to the offensive lineman. So there was a potential we could get Kingsley Salmatia. I don't know. I'm gonna put him on there just because. Zach Frazier was also a potential option. And then we're not going to go after J.C. Latham. He's going to be top of the class as well. And then maybe I'll put a little bit of on Fuaga. Whatever, dog. I'm going to go after you. We're not going to go after J.C. Latham, mainly because I've already taken him a couple of times, and he isn't that highly overall, and he has normal development, so it's not going to work out for us. But having pick number 28 is kind of sucky, but it could work if we just stick with what we have. I forgot to do this really quick, so we got to do this. Bada bing, bada boom. Buy all this stuff. You got to make sure that you have all this stuff bought out if you want to have any hope of getting easy trades with the CPU in terms of just draft pick for draft pick. Got to make sure you have that. Once you have this whole tree unlocked, then it's super simple. Once you have this whole tree, this side of the tree unlocked, it's super simple to trade 1-for-1 draft pick for draft pick in terms of first round picks. Like I could trade pick number 28 for pick number 27, 1-for-1. I could trade pick number 28 for pick number 26, 1-for-1. And I just keep doing that process. It's very simple once you do that. All right, let's start drafting. and see where the board takes us. So, number 1 overall pick is, in fact, Marvin Harrison to the Chicago Bears. So, in this universe, they didn't... actually, they did, because this roster is updated, so Justin Fields should be on the Steelers. Or maybe he isn't. I keep saying Tiny Hands is on the Steelers. He's in Philadelphia, because I just did that rebuild. I don't know if Justin Fields is on the Steelers in this. He might not be, because I don't know if the trade happened before I updated the roster. Huh. Well, that would make sense why they wouldn't draft Caleb Williams. Okay, for the next rebuild, Justin Fields will be on the Steelers. But I don't know why I keep saying Kenny Pickett's on the Steelers. He's on the Philadelphia Eagles. I just did that rebuild where he was on the Eagles. I'm stupid. You guys know that already, though. Fashanu or Fashano, I've heard it 2 ways. I don't know. I trust Bangle, because Bangle does a lot of pronunciation. He knows how to pronounce names, and he says Fashanu, so I'll stick with Fashanu. So he goes to the Patriots. Latu goes to the Broncos. Caleb Williams is now in New Orleans. Jaden Daniels is now in New York for the Jets. Brock Bowers goes to Seattle. Byron Murphy, Rome Odunze to Pittsburgh. Drake Mays in the other New York. So New York teams getting their quarterbacks. Are they going to be the franchise? Who knows? Fuaga goes to the Bengals. Jackson Powers-Johnson to Tampa Bay. That would have been pretty nice to have, but I didn't really want to trade up for a center that we don't really know is going to be that good. Like I said, we got to if we're going to trade up for an offensive lineman, they got to be absolutely generational. And I couldn't confirm nor deny if any of those guys were going to be generational. Malik Neighbors in Jacksonville, that's a nice pickup. Keon Coleman's in Miami now. Ooh, I like that too. Taylor Guyton, Troy Franklin, Edgerrin Cooper. Okay, there goes Kingsley. And now we are up. So a couple of offensive linemen have gone off the board. I'm not going to take J.C. Latham. I've fallen down that wormhole before. We've got Graham Barton, who's around 2 to 3. We've got Zach Frazier, who's around 1 to 2. That might be my pickup. I might take Zach Frazier here. Because I'm not going to take Graham Barton right now, not in the first round. I may come back and get Cooper Beebe in the second round because we've taken him before and we know that he's at least a development trait. So I think I'm going to take Zach Frazier here. Get our center. Well, we don't need a center, but we can move him to guard. I was hoping he'd have a development trait. That kind of sucks. He is very good, though. He looks pretty good. I'm just going to move him to a guard position since he was the best option. And then we will simulate to pick number 28 or the second round. And I hope that Cooper Beebe is available. I don't know if he's going to be. He's not. Ooh, okay. So Cooper is no longer available. And the rest of the offensive line doesn't look that good. I mean, Kieran looks really good, actually, physically. He looks solid enough in terms of his pass blocking. I think we take the risk on Kieran. He's normal development as well, so 2 normal development offensive linemen kind of hurts, but hopefully they're decent enough overalls that where it doesn't hurt us too much. But man, missing out on Zach Frazier not having a development trait really does hurt. Because offensive lineman without a development trait just feels like a miss. It just feels like a miss. Now, we've taken Xavier Worthy a few times in different rebuilds that I've done with this, so I'm probably going to do it again. We could take Spencer Rattler. That could be fun. Jordan Travis falls down to undrafted because, I guess, of his injury. I don't know. Corners, you've got, Mikey. I've already taken Mikey before. I'm not going to take him again. Although I said that with, Xavier Worthy. We could, I don't know if we need another receiver, though. That's the only thing. Because I just brought in freaking, what's his face? Amari Cooper. But I don't know if we need anything else here. Are any of you guys fast? There's a power rusher here. No, I'm not taking you. Javon Solomon. 4.6 speed's not bad. But he's a day 3 guy. We can get him later, hopefully. Solid speed for a middle linebacker. What about Kamara? Muhammad Kamara. Not really feeling it. Not really feeling it. Grayson Murphy, speed rusher. Okay. Pretty good athletically. Doesn't have the moves that I like, though. If he's there at round 4, then I could think about taking him, but he doesn't really have the stuff that I'm looking for in terms of his technical skills. He's probably going to be pretty bad. Let's see. Austin Booker, speed rusher from Kansas. He's whatever. Adisa Isaac. Ooh. He's the same deal as that other guy. He doesn't have the technical skills, but he's athletic as heck. I think I'm going to take Adisa Isaac because we need defensive line more than we need linebacker. Hey, he's got hidden development. I'll take that. That's our first big win of the draft, I guess. He's a big guy. Wow. Adisa Isaac. I think I'm saying that right. I hope I am. He comes to the team, and maybe he's probably going to start over Emmanuel Ogbah. Corners are still on the board, but that could be saying something. Who's the other guy that I was going to take? I forget who it was. It probably wasn't somebody that good. Steel Chambers, my guy. One of my favorite players on the Buckeyes. But he's potentially undrafted. I'm not going to take him in the 4th round. When I could grab Jarvis Brownlee Jr., 5'11 corner. He doesn't look that good. He's got C and B, or C and D, I mean. None of these corners look that good. Dwight McLaughlin. What a name. He's also 6'2", which I think is the biggest out of all these guys left. Yeah, all these guys are like 5'11 and below. So I'm going to take Dwight McLaughlin. Hall of Fame name. We'll see how good he is. Look at that. Back-to-back development traits. I am the drafting god. I am the drafting god. Let's get to the 5th round, and now we can start taking some undrafted guys. Sam Hartman got picked up by the Packers. That's kind of crazy. Is Jordan Travis still here? He is. I'm going to let Jordan Travis go one more spot because I'm going to take Steel Chambers with this pick. Steel Chambers. I knew he wasn't going to be development trait. I just wanted him because I love Steel Chambers. So welcome to the squad, Steel. And now we'll go to the 6th round. Or no, the 7th round. We don't have a 6th round pick. We'll go to the 7th round, and we'll see what quarterback is left. I don't think Jordan Travis is going to be available, but we'll see. Oh, he is. Jordan Travis. Could have been a Heisman Trophy winner, but he got injured. Welcome to the squad. 88 throw power, 87 acceleration, 83 speed. I like that. That's a nice backup for Lamar. And I don't think we even had a quarterback on the roster other than Lamar, so we needed to get somebody. And we have another 7th round pick. I didn't realize we had 2. Okay. So we have one final 7th round pick, and we might as well take Jerry Rice's kid. Brendan Rice, welcome to the team. Another receiver adding to the roster. Bada bing, bada boom. That's how you draft, ladies and gentlemen. Write it down, memorize it. That's how you do a draft. The drafting god has taught you something. So the offensive lineman, Zach Frazier, 72. We'll move him to a guard spot. Kieran is a 68. That kind of hurts. Isaac's a 69. Okay, maybe don't look at this. Maybe the drafting god is a real deal. Just not with this draft, okay? You know, the drafting god's fine. The drafting god is fine. Season 2 is going to be interesting because, I mean, we went 14 and 3. We should be on a similar trajectory this year. I mean, we didn't get really any worse. In fact, we probably got better because we got freaking, what's-his-face? We got Amari Cooper. So, we probably got better. Amari Cooper's now the #1 receiver. I don't like that. I want Zay Flowers to be the #1 receiver. But then we are I'm probably going to let these guys just start at offensive line because maybe we can turn. Maybe Zach Frazier is a better guard. We'll turn him into a guard and see what happens. I mean, I drafted him to be a guard, so we'll see what happens. Right guard, he is a 73. Perfect. He can start. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then defensively, McLaughlin's at corner. Isaac, he's just simply not high enough overall to start over Ogbah right now, unfortunately. And then we'll rock with the team. We will rock with the team how it is. We shouldn't really, in theory, be any worse, maybe even better, because we've got guys that are developing even higher now than what they were in year 1. So I'm hoping that we can get back to the playoffs and maybe even get the 1 seed and a trip to the Super Bowl. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2 with the results. We made it to the end of year number 2. We improved by a game, 14-2 on the year. But this time, we didn't have no stinking Chiefs to worry about. We are the 1 seed in the AFC at 15-2. That's amazing. Love to see it. Absolutely brilliant. And Lamar Jackson had another fantastic year. This has got to be some MVP type of numbers, especially if he did some crazy stuff on the ground as well. 3,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 75% completion percentage. Insane numbers from Lamar. And he even put up 891 yards and 14 Give this man the MVP of the NFL. Forget about Brock Purdy or Patrick Mahomes. No, this man right here, Lamar B, is my MVP. And even Derrick Henry, his running mate, had 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns with 4.8 yards per carry. Wow. This backfield is kind of crazy. No 1,000-yard receiver, but that's okay. Mark Andrews led the team with 883 and 11. Cooper had 871 and 9. I feel like the addition of Mark Cooper really is going to give us that next step to a Super Bowl. Zay Flowers had a good season. Bateman had a good season. Defensively, 96 tackles for Roquan Smith, 96 for Trent Simpson. Kyle Hamilton had 79. Rocky Sin had 67. Matabuike had 14 tackles for loss. Owe had 8, 7 for Pierce, 5 for Van Noy, and Michael Pierce led the team with 8 sacks. I'm glad we re-signed him. 7.5 for Matabuike, and Ogba. Owe had 4.5, Van Noy had 4, 2.5, yada, yada, yada. Smith had 3 sacks. No, not 3 sacks, 3 picks. 2 for Williams and Humphrey, and then 1 for a few other guys. So some good numbers again. We lost in the AFC divisional round last year to the Buffalo Bills. Are we going to lose this year to the Jags? No, we win 42 to 13, and we take on the Jets of all teams? The Jets? They drafted their quarterback, didn't they? They got themselves a quarterback this year, and they are in the AFC title game against us. You know what? I'm going to take some offense to that. That's disrespectful. We deserve a better team than the New York Jets. But hey, we're going to jump into the conference title game and try to get to the Super Bowl. All right, here we are. It is time to see what happens in the AFC title game. We're down 3-0. Let's get this going. I definitely want to play as Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That's going to be a big one. I want to see how good they play. And I just realized I never figured out who was wearing number 22. So, I don't know. Derrick Henry's not going to be wearing number 22, that's for sure. Are we going to actually put a touchdown on the board? You know what? I'm jumping in here. We're at the 2-yard line. I'm punching this in, and we're using the new addition, Derrick Henry, in his 2nd season in Baltimore. He's going to get a championship touchdown. Or not. Wow, they were ready for that wholeheartedly. They want us to kick the field goal. I don't want to kick a field goal. Forget about field goals. We're the Baltimore Ravens. We're scoring tutties. Lamar Jackson with the snap. He's rolling out of the pocket. You can't keep up with Lamar Jackson. He's too fast. He's too furious. And he's got the Ravens a touchdown. That's why Lamar Jackson's so good. Let's go, baby. Big touchdown. Into the 4th quarter, another touchdown, 17-6. Now it's 17-14. 24-14. The Jets are dying, but they're coming back. The New York Football Jets seem to know what they're doing here. It's 24-21. Maybe I was a little bit too disrespectful to the Jets. They seem to be a decent contest for the Baltimore Ravens, but they only have 1 timeout and it's 2nd down, so it looks like they're going to fall just short to my powerhouse of Baltimore Ravens squad. There's the final timeouts, and we're going to run it one more time for good measure and end this one in dramatic fashion. They may have stopped me, but it doesn't matter because the game clock is lower than the play clock. It is ball game here in Baltimore. We could kick a 60-yard field goal for fun, but I'm not going to do that. So that is ball game. The Baltimore Ravens are headed to the Super Bowl here in year number 2, which is kind of what I expected. I obviously wanted them to be in the Super Bowl last year, but we know what happened. We lost to the Bills in the divisional round. But this year, I kind of expected year number 2 to be the year we get to at least the AFC title game, and we did just that, and we won the championship to go to the Super Bowl to play against either, I think it was the Niners or the Eagles. So we'll see who we play. I mean, the Niners were the one of the best teams and they had the MVP last year, but it's not them. It is the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, the boys. We just rebuilt this team. That's funny. The team that I just got done rebuilding against the team that I'm currently rebuilding in the Super Bowl in year number 2, which is, I think, where did we win a Super Bowl in year number 2 last year? Or in the Eagles rebuild, or did we win in year 3? I don't remember. I don't know. It doesn't matter because we are going to win one right here, right now. We are here in the Super Bowl, Eagles and Ravens. It is quite the high-powered offenses on both sides. Eagles got, obviously, Jalen Hurts and Saquon. We've got Lamar and Derrick Henry. And it looks like the Eagles are going to take a lead. No, it's 7-7. Halftime is coming. We lead 10-7 now. Can we get anything else to go? Red zone alert. We're going to jump in here 10-7, maybe go up 17-7. That's the goal, at least. Let's see if we can get this touchdown. 1st and 10 from the 14. Step up in the pocket. I suck. I absolutely suck. It's crazy how bad I am. Take an unnecessary sack there. Step up in the pocket this time and actually get some yards back. End of the 3rd quarter. We get to the 10-yard line. I'll take that, I guess. I guess I have to take that. So 3rd and 6. Maybe we go with a double in and somebody gets open. Maybe Bateman or Andrews underneath. I don't even know. Andrews. 1st down. That's a good throw at the 1. We'll go with is Henry not in? Henry's not in. So I guess we'll hand it off to Lamar Jackson of all people. I thought that I could get in there. I really did. I thought I could get in, keeping it with Lamar. I couldn't. It's 2nd and goal from the 2. Give it to Mitchell. Mitchell scores the touchdown, and the boys are up by 10 on Philadelphia. That's a good start, but the Eagles fight back. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. All we need to do is run the clock down. I don't know where Derrick Henry's at, but he's not apparently. Oh, the one time I accidentally pressed the button is the one time they actually do hand it off to Mitchell. I thought I didn't press it enough and they wouldn't count it as giving the ball to him, but they did. 2nd and 13. Fire that into Andrews, who can't hold on. Mark Andrews, I needed you to hold on to that football, dog. I needed you. I need you more than life itself to hold on to that football. 3rd and 13. Do we think I can scramble for yardage here? I don't have to. He's wide open. It's Rashad Bateman down the field. Stay in bounds. Oh my God. I was content with scrambling there. I probably could have gotten close to the 1st down if not gotten it. But that is a huge throw on the run from Lamar Jackson and a huge run after the catch by Rashad Bateman. Did you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It was at the very bottom of your screen. But when that 2-minute warning called and Lamar Jackson was walking off the field, he just ran over Mitchell. Completely ran him over. It was hilarious. All right, and now Philadelphia is using their timeouts. We got to make sure that we make them use all of them before we score. Derrick Henry fights forward. It's 3rd and 6. I'm probably going to throw this to Amari Cooper. That's what I'm thinking. I just hope that he's the one that actually gets open. Cooper. It's going to have to be. Somebody else catch it. 4th and 6, and the Eagles keep a timeout. That's frustrating. That's very frustrating. But we have to kick the field goal because the Eagles are too good of an offense to not kick a field goal there. They still somehow have their 1 timeout. I don't know how they've kept their 1 timeout. 31 seconds. If they score a touchdown, it's ball game. Well, they have to hit the extra point. Oh, he ran right into Odafe Oweh. What are you doing, Jalen Hurts? He ran right into Odafe Oweh and gets sacked out of field goal range, and they had to use their last timeout. Jalen Hurts, what are you thinking, dog? That's something I would have done. They throw it. We couldn't keep him in bounds, but they're not getting much there. Oh, that was 4th down anyway. It gets us the ball back. That's the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. The Baltimore Ravens are world champions. Let's go. 2 seasons it took. We should have arguably won it in year 1, but we had a depressing loss to the Bills. Lamar Jackson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, and all it took really was Amari Cooper and Derrick Henry. That's really the only things that we've added to this team. because the offensive line basically is the same. I mean, I added Zach Frazier as a right guard, but he probably wouldn't have done that much. And then on defense, we didn't really do anything. We didn't change. I don't think we've changed a single thing on defense, except for add some rookies like as depth. But I mean, this Ravens team is basically the same Ravens team, just added Amari Cooper and now Derrick Henry, obviously. And we got it in year number 2. We will go one more season to try to defend our championship. We'll go a third year to try to defend our championship in the third season. But Lamar Jackson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback, finally. He gets his redemption. I can't believe Jalen Hurts ran to Odafe Oweh. I don't know what he was thinking there. Pushed him out of field goal range. I mean, they needed a touchdown anyway, so field goal range doesn't really matter. But still, that was a bone-breaking sack because it also made them use their final timeout. A crazy situation. And it leads to us winning a Lombardi. And now we can go one more year. Maybe patch up that offensive line just a little bit more. I did load in the 2025 draft class, so maybe we can patch up that offensive line slightly more. And then basically get ready for another Super Bowl trip. That's what I'm thinking. MVP of the Super Bowl is Lamar Jackson, and they gave him MVP of the league and Offensive Player of the Year. Oh my God, I think that might be one of the first times that I've gotten one player, to win Super Bowl MVP, regular season MVP, and Offensive Player of the Year. The only other thing that I would need would be Offensive Rookie of the Year, but Lamar Jackson obviously not a rookie. That's fantastic. We got MVP and Offensive Player of the Year and Coach of the Year, actually. TJ Watt gets Defensive Player of the Year. Jaden Daniels on the Jets. We beat Jaden Daniels to get here. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then Jared Verse for the Vikings gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. So those are your awards. Lamar Jackson not only is a Super Bowl MVP, but now he's a 3-time regular season MVP. Now, obviously, in this game, he didn't win his second MVP yet, but in real life, the way that we're thinking it, he is a 3-time MVP now. Let's get to the re-sign period, even though I don't think I can re-sign anybody. I have negative $9 million. I might need to restructure some contracts to be able to, if anybody's like massively needs to come back. We have negative $49 million. Who got upgrades? Anybody? We've got Tyler Linderbaum. I didn't think offensive lineman could go up. He must have won offensive lineman of the year. There's no way that he would have gone up regardless. Yeah, he did. He won offensive lineman of the year. That's the only way offensive lineman can go up in this game for some reason. Frazier gets up to a 77 overall, which is nice. So we just need a left guard and a right tackle, and we're pretty good. Although our guys are good right now. We just could obviously use improvements. Lamar Jackson is a true 99. He can't even get upgraded anymore. And then we've got on defense, Marlon Humphrey's now an X Factor. I think that's new. But nobody else has changed or gone up or anything like that. So, okay. So we're not really getting any progression on terms of development traits, which is kind of upsetting. Do we need to restructure any deals? Kyle Hamilton will accept the option. Tyler Linderbaum will accept the option. Brandon Stevens I need back. Okay. So, and maybe Patrick Ricard. But Brandon Stevens, we absolutely need to bring back. So we do need to restructure some deals. Luckily, we're not going any further than this season, this last regular season. So let's restructure as many deals as possible to make us get those guys back. And I don't need to go into that. I need to just hit the button. There we go. I can't do Lamar's, but we can do Marlon Humphreys. That will free up $8.42 million, but it also put $8.41 million on his next year. So he's going to be expensive next season. Let's see. Let's restructure Roquan Smith. Let's restructure Amari Cooper's deal. Let's restructure Marcus Williams' deal. Mark Andrews can't do it. Can't do it on Michael Pierce. We can do Kyle Tucker, though. Justin Tucker. Rashad Bateman. Tyler Linderbaum. All right, now we're getting dangerous territory where we don't have many contracts that are expensive. And I haven't even freed up enough money to be positive, right? Yeah, I'm still negative $16 million, so it looks like Brandon Stevens is out the door. Well, that's upsetting. Maybe we shouldn't have brought in Amari Cooper. But hey, we got a Super Bowl out of it, so I don't care. Brandon Stevens, maybe we can get you on a trade. Although I have negative money, so probably not. Yeah, we have negative $16 million, so we can't trade Brandon Stevens. We're just going to have to let him walk. That's okay. We got a championship out of it. I don't care. I couldn't care less. because I've completed the rebuild. I have brought Baltimore another championship. First time since 2012. Joe Flacco, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, whoever else was on that team. That probably had Ray Rice on that team before he got in trouble. Whoever else is on that team. Who was the receivers at that time? Would have been Mike Wallace? Was he on that team? No. Who would have been on that team? They probably would have had... Oh, man, I'm thinking over a decade now. It's crazy. Who would have been on that team? They would have had Marshall Yonda. Who was Joe Flacco throwing the ball to? I'm blanking on who he would have thrown the ball to there. It probably would have been... there's a guy in my mind that I can't think of. Oh my god, this is gonna frustrate me. I can't think of who he would have thrown the ball to. Oh man, a lot of these guys are around 2 to 3. That's kind of upsetting. Let's learn about Bryce Foster. Let's learn about Clay Webb. And then we can go over here to the corners, because we're going to need a corner now. And I don't know, maybe do Prysock? I don't know who that is, but we're probably not going to have, obviously not have a good enough pick to get like Will Johnson or anything crazy like that. The mock draft number 5, Quinn Ewers going 1 to to Broncos. They have us taking Kelvin Banks. He looks good. I mean, he's got A's across the board, but he's around 2 to 3 true talent. I don't know why. He looks really good. I wouldn't be mad at taking him because he looks really, really good. I don't know why he's around 2 to 3 in his true talent. That's kind of confusing me. We're going to stick and hopefully take that guy because I'll take him around pick 32. Is Quinn Ewers going to go number 1 overall in the draft? He does, to the Broncos. They get their guy. They get their guy. Did Luther Burden go? I think he went number 2, right? Number 2 overall pick. Oh, no. Luther Burden was there at number 9. That's crazy. And the Chiefs, of all teams, get him. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't need Luther Burden, but they get him anyway. I'm going to take Kelvin Banks. He looks really good. He's 6'4". He's 21 years old. He's not the best athlete in the world, but, I mean, these numbers, A awareness, A impact block, A run block, A pass block finesse. I mean, he's got everything you want. Of course, he's normal development. That's probably why he's around 2 to 3 talent. But he looks so good. Like, how could he be bad? How could he be lower than, like, a 74, 75? He just looks too good to not take. Final pick of the second round, Emeka Egbuka's here. I've taken Emeka Egbuka every single time I have one of these drafts, so I'm not going to take him this time. But I might take a right tackle from Washington State who looks pretty solid. Let's grab him. Hidden development. Boom. Bada bing. Bada bang. So we've got an offensive line. We got 2 offensive linemen figured out, which is something that I was talking about needing to do. And now, Igbinosun. Now we need to get corner because we lost our corner, so we need to add another corner. But I don't know if there's a corner that I need to get. Kobe Bryant is the only corner that is still ranked in the draft, so we might as well grab him. Hey, he's got hidden development. Thank you, Kobe. Kobe. 90 speed, 90 excel is fine. I feel like we've done pretty good with this draft so far. Into the 4th round. This will probably be the last pick that I make. Considering it's not going to matter too much, and since it's the last pick I'm going to make, I'm going to take Emeka Egbuka because I love him so much. Welcome to the squad, Emeka. That's going to be the final pick that I make, and we will let the CPU handle the rest of the draft. That guy, he's got to be in the 70, high 70 overalls, right? That guard that we took? Or maybe mid-70s? What is he going to be? Draft recap. He is going to be a 72 overall. Really? He had A's across the board, except for a couple B's, but still, that's kind of crazy. Our right tackle's a 69. Bryant's a 72. Abuka's a 70. They took Jalen Walker, who's a 70. Kevin Coleman, who's a 69. Nice. And then Balunge, who's a tight end. He's 65 overall. Best player in the class was Harold Perkins Jr., Quinshawn Judkins from the Ohio State University. Okay, so defending Super Bowl champions, we really didn't get that much worse. The only thing you could think of that we got worse at was corner because we lost our main man there. I forget his name already. But we lost him. He was good. Brandon Stevens, is that his name? So we will not go to Amari Cooper. We will go to the Generate Best Lineup screen. Get all the boys in here. So they have Daniel Falele starting at right tackle. I don't hate that because he's a big guy. Well, how big is he? He's like 6'9", right? 6'8", 380. That's huge. All right, so offense is looking amazing, as good as ever. We're going to have freaking Emeka Buka start above Brandon Rice. Sorry about your luck, big boy. And then we are going to go to the defense. And, I mean, this defense is still pretty good. This defense is still pretty good. This is a championship-level defense. So we will see how we do in our defense of our Super Bowl. I'm going to simulate year number 3, and I'll catch you guys at the end of the year. We have made it to the end of year 3, the final season. We went 15-2 again, and somehow that was not good enough to get the number 1 seed. Who was the number 1 seed? It was the Chiefs again. So they had one down year where we are allowed, I guess, to get the number 1 seed. But then they come in and they say, oh no, next season we're back on top. 16-1, are you kidding me, Chiefs? The Chiefs are crazy in Madden, man. They're crazy in real life, but they're crazy in Madden, man. Absolutely insane. Absolutely. I mean, we went 14-3, 15-2, and 15-2, and we only got the 1 seed one time. It's insane. I mean, Lamar Jackson continues to have MVP caliber seasons. 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 3 picks. With a 77. He keeps growing the completion percentage. He keeps getting more and more efficient. This is a dog right here. That is a dog. Rushing yards, 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns for Derrick Henry. 3 seasons in the league here with the Ravens, and he's been really just fantastic each year. And then Lamar Jackson, I mean, he might win MVP back-to-back years with these rushing numbers. This is insane. He's killing the game. 1,000 yards. Finally, we get a 1,000-yard receiver. It is Amari Cooper with 7 touchdowns as well. 700 yards and 9 touchdowns for Mark Andrews. Flowers had 600 yards, 6 touchdowns. Defensively, Trenton Simpson back on top with 113 tackles. Humphrey had 81, 80 for Hamilton, 76 for Roquan Smith. 16 tackles for loss for Ogba, 15 for Owe. And then Ogba led the team in really? Ogba led the team in sacks with 10? That's kind of wild. 7.5 for Matabwike, 6.5 for Owe, and then pick was Hamilton with 4, Rock Ya-Sin 3, and then Smith and Humphrey both had 2. So those are where we stand in terms of stats for year 3. I would assume Lamar Jackson's got himself another MVP locked up, but can we get ourselves another Lombardi trophy locked up? We beat the Dolphins 34-31. That's nice to see. But in year 1, we beat the wild card team and then got to the divisional round and lost to the Buffalo Bills. Now we play the Denver Broncos. Please beat the Denver Broncos. We do. 59-13. Dear Lord in heaven. Baby Jesus. That is kind of crazy. Okay. So we go to the AFC Championship and we meet our big rival, the 16-1 Kermit the Frog-led Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be quite the AFC Championship. It is a sloppy one here in Kansas City. You know I love it sloppy. Ravens, Chiefs, AFC title game, 16-1 versus 15-2. And we are down 10-0 so far. We got to score against Kansas City here. Got to put something in the back of the end zone. Let's see what we can do. There's the snap. There's the step up in the pocket. And there's Lamar Jackson scoring a touchdown because he's the MVP. Lamar B strikes again. And we are down 10-7. Now it's 17-7. 30 seconds to go at the 11. We got to snap this ball fairly quickly. We have a timeout left, but I don't want to use it right now. There's the snap. There's the throw. There's the catch. There's the touchdown. Mark Andrews at the end of the half. Good throw from Lamar. Better catch from Mark Andrews. And we put up another touchdown, 21-17, 24-21. Kansas City might be too overpowered. It's 31-21, and it's 4th and 8. Oh, Kansas City might just be too big for us. Madden has, if there's 2 teams in Madden that EA has a hard-on for, it is the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs might have just ended our season. They score another touchdown. That's pretty much ball game. 3 minutes to go. It's 38-21. There's really no chance we have of winning this game. We're going to send it to the end zone. It's going to be picked off in the end zone. They're actually going to return it, and they're going to get some decent yardage here. Brought down at the 35-yard line. Trent McDuffelbag is the one that bring it down, and that is the ball game. We are going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs on the road in the AFC Championship. We gave it our best shot, but the Chiefs are just, they're the big bad. They're the Sith. They're the Death Star. It's Darth Vader. It's Darth Sidious. They're everything evil in the world. We couldn't handle it. The good guys fall in the AFC Championship to the Kansas City Chiefs. But, I mean, they went 16-1. Was there really... I mean, we went 15-2, but they went 16-1. There was really no stopping Kansas City, if we think about it. And it's going to be Dallas and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I would expect the Kansas City Chiefs to get a championship here. And they don't. They lose by 2 to the Cowboys. So in 3 years of simulation, the Dallas Cowboys have won 2 titles. Obviously, we were sandwiched in between them, but they won 2 titles. That is super unrealistic. The Cowboys get their 7th championship. Dak gets an MVP of the Super Bowl. Mahomes steals the MVP from Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson does win Offensive Player of the Year. Harbaugh wins Coach of the Year. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. Cam Ward, new quarterback for the Falcons, gets the Rookie of the Year. And then Harold Perkins Jr., who was the highest rated player in the class, he gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. So quite the crazy 3-year simulation, but sandwiched in between a nice little Cowboy dynasty is your Baltimore Ravens, who get a championship. Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, we found out that the combination is pretty lethal. If only they add Amari Cooper, then they're basically going to win a championship. Zay Flowers was really, really good. Rashad Bateman's turned out to be an 85 overall, so I'd say that's pretty good development. Then the defense, I don't think I even changed anything, did I? Kyle Hamilton's now superstar, but this is the exact Ravens defense, minus a couple of players that either retired or left or we couldn't re-sign or whatever. This is the exact same defense. Every single starter here is a starter from the original team, except for Van Noy was a starter before, but now it's Ajabo. But it's the exact same team. That's crazy. I didn't really even do any differences except for add Derrick Henry, obviously, because that's who they signed, and then add Amari Cooper. And I added Zach Frazier, I guess. That's the other addition that I made. That's kind of insane to see that, but hey, that's it. That's what happened. This Ravens team is already pretty good, and now adding Derrick Henry, it looks like the Ravens are going to be a pretty scary team in the next season of the NFL. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. If you have any team suggestions, your favorite team that made any big moves in free agency, let me know down below in the comments, and I will take them on board and possibly rebuild them in the future. That's going to do it for me, though. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.